Maboika, ituno, kina ati aono. Man, welcome, sisters and brothers. The Anuhibui, I love you. Oh, my Bahari, much respect, much respect. And Seneca Kahuna means abundant blessings. Okay, man, I am so. I'm in a great mood, man. I hope everybody else is in a great mood. It's what they call Sunday. I know people going to church or been to church already, probably getting your Sunday meal done or, getting ready to make your Sunday meal, which is so cool. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this podcast short because I'm just going to going a little more on the Star Energy Center. I want to talk about the healing karmic wounds and also knowing your archetype and symbols, okay? Because that's part of the Star Energy Center, okay? But then after this, I'll probably go back on later again and we're going to take it to church. We're going to take it to church. We're going to put religion, we're going to put back spirituality, and the spirituality, we're going to put back the natural nature. How's that? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to church. My grandfather was a reverend, man. I gotta keep up the family tradition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I studied theology. I studied comparative religion. Yeah, I can get on that puppet. I can, I had training at this Center for Spiritual Living, on the puppet, took those classes, got on the puppet, gave my seminars, and and let's do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? Let's go it over again. Let's put the meat back on the skeleton. You know what I'm saying? Let's because that's gonna lead me to speak about something after I finish with this uh, um karmic wounds. Okay, so um again, your star energy center or the sun energy center, where you gain your power from, your electricity from, right? That center. Okay, so imagine the mind, the vast, all the ideas, and imagine that part that deals with karmic wounds. We're gonna now take awareness, consciousness, that glowing ball of light of energy, and we're gonna place it there. Okay, we're gonna place it there. Now we're gonna deal with healing karmic wounds. Now, karma is a Sanskrit word. They use it a lot in Hinduism and in Buddhism. Karma. Okay, it equals action. You know what I'm saying? One can think of karma as a spiritual equivalent of Newton's law of motion. For every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. Okay, think about that. For every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. When we exhibit a negative force in thought, word, or action, that negative energy will come back to us. So remember, that ball of consciousness, we put it to a positive part of our mind so that we can put life into that, right? That's our ultimate goal. That's your highest destiny, okay, is to reach that. Now, there are 12 laws of karma that everyone should know, okay? And we're going to deal with the wounds, but let's deal with the karma in general. Now, one of the laws is the great law of cause and effect. And this is also mentioned in the Hermetic principles, okay? As you sow, so shall you reap. Also, this is in the biblical too, in the New Testament, some of the stuff that the Jesus said, right? As you sow, so shall you reap. And this is an ancient principle, a law. It's a karmic law. It's one of the great laws. To receive to receive happiness, peace, love, and friendship, one must be happy, peaceful, loving, and a true friend. Remember, always start with yourself. Be peaceful, happy, be a good friend to yourself. Treat yourself to things. And then you engulf everything around you in that, involve it in that process. Okay, but you be careful of who you allow. You know what I'm saying? Whatever one puts out into the universe will come back to them. Okay? So remember, like the energy, whatever you put into that energy, into that mind, you're gonna, the whatever you focus on, that energy is gonna follow, and you're gonna give life to it. Okay? And you're gonna get what you need to get back from that. Okay? Another one of the karmic laws, the law of creation. Life requires our participation to happen. In life, you have to participate in order for things to happen, right? It does not happen by itself. It does not. We are one with the universe, both inside and out. Whatever surround us give us clues to our inner state. So you have to look around you and see what you are attracting, what's surrounding you. That's telling, giving you an idea of your inner state. So surround yourself with what you want to have in your life, and most important, be yourself. Okay. The law of humility. One must accept something in order to change it. If all one sees is an enemy or a negative character trait, then they are not and cannot be focused on higher level of existence. If that's all you see is negativity, and that's all you see is the enemy, that is going to block you from achieving your highest level of existence. See, these are the laws. So this is one of the laws of humility. These are karmic laws. So you got to look at these karmic laws and see where your wound at, and learn how to unblock it. The law of growth is another law. Karmic law is called the law of growth. Wherever you go, there you are. It is we who must change and not the people, places, and things around us if we want to grow spiritually. Not the people around us. You have to change. All we are given is ourselves. That is the only thing we have control over. And I know it may seem a little concentrating on a little of yourself, you know what I'm saying? But that's very important, because remember, that self, that individuality, it's the properties of the multiple of selves. So you are the representative. So you got to change that within yourself. When we change who and what we are within our hearts, our lives follow suit and change also in our hearts. We have to change the purpose, which is passion with reason. We got to change the way we care. We got to change our heart, where we put our life, what we put our life into, if you want to see some changes for the better. The law of responsibility. Another karmic law is the law of responsibility. If there's something wrong in one's life, there's something wrong in them. We mirror what surrounds us. We mirror what surrounds us, and what surrounds us mirror us. That is a universal truth. Okay, it's affluent, both going both ways. It must take responsibility for what one must take responsibility for what is in our lives. Take the responsibility for what is in our lives first. Okay. The law of connection. The smallest and seemingly least important of thing must be done, because everything in the universe is connected. So no matter how trivial or how small you think this uh, uh, um, a task might be, it is very, very important for you to complete that little small task, because everything is connected. Each step leads to a next step, and so forth and so on. Someone must do the initial work to get the job done. Neither the first step nor the last are of greater significance, right? They are both needed to accomplish the task. Past, present, future are all connected. See? The law of giving, okay, the law of focus. One cannot think of two things at the same time. If our focus on spiritual values, it is not possible for us to have a lower thought like greed or anger. Okay? But now, Remember the paradoxical way of thinking, okay? It's applying of understanding how everything can exist spontaneously and it's of an importance. So yes, you can look at anger around you and you can see, view those things, evaluate it, but not to focus on it. Because if you put your energy on that in particular thought pattern, you're going to create an unfavorable outcome for yourself, or you're going to create an angry situation. So that must, you know what I'm saying? We have to analyze, we have to read for comprehension. The law of giving and hospitality. If one believes something to be true, then sometime in their life they will be called upon to demonstrate that truth. If you believe something is true, then at one point in time, you're going to be called to demonstrate that truth. Here's Here is where one puts what they claim to have learned into practice. Okay. So it's a matter of practicing what you preach or practicing what you have attained to be truth. Once you unblock those lies, you see that's truth, then practice it and start harnessing that energy. You know, another karmic law is the karmic law of here and now. One cannot be in the here and now if they are looking backward to examine what was and worry and forward to worry about the future. You got to think about the now. Remember we said that because the now is what the axis is what is the pinnacle, right? It's what moves you forward and it's what had moved you forward from the past and it's moving you forward into the future. But it's the now. Old thoughts, old patterns of behavior, and old dreams prevent us from having new ones. So you got to think of it now. You got to all constantly change. Those dreams needs to be evaluated. Those dreams needs to be worked on. There are certain tasks that need to be done in order for you to achieve certain things. And when you arrive at that truth, you got to put that into practice. You know. So these are karmic laws. Another karmic law is the law of change. You know, history repeats itself until we learn the lesson that we need to change. That we need to change our path. Okay, so that's a karmic law. If you're stuck on repeating your past, you know, says you got to know also what your ancestral. Um, Remember, the reciprocal of the star is also the earth, and that's where your genetic blueprint and your ancestral patterns are. You need to also evaluate them. Don't judge them, evaluate them, so you can change paradigms and change things around you and break those karmic wounds because of the here and now and the law of the law of the change. You know, like history is going to repeat itself until we learn the lessons that we need to change our path. You know, there are lessons. The law of patience and reward. All rewards require initial toil. All rewards require initial toil. Rewards of lasting value require patience and persistence. Toll. True joy comes from doing what one is supposed to be doing and knowing that the reward will come in its own time. Okay. Remember when we talk about that, I'm blocking that ego blockage, that attachment. Whereas, you know, you create something and you have to let it after you have had, you know, the joy comes when after you've done what you're supposed to do. It's it take its let it take its path. Let it go. Let it take its path. Let it see what happens. And that's learning about patience. You know, the law of significance and inspiration. One gets back from something whatever they put in it. The true value of something is a direct result of the energy. The true value of something is a direct result of the energy and intent that is put into it. Every personal contribution is also a contribution to the whole. Remember, we are representative of the multiverse. Lesser contributions have no impact on the whole, nor do they work to diminish it. Loving contribution bring life to and inspires the whole. the caring contributions. That is going to inspire the whole. You know what I'm saying? So karma is not meant to be a punishment and is present and is present for the sake of education. How else is someone to learn how to be a good person if they are never taught that harmful action is wrong? A person only suffer if they have created the conditions of suffering. Okay, so that's dealing with karma wounds. Okay, and I just suggest people to go back and just listen to each one of those and see how it applies to your life and how you can use some of this power, to unblock what they call the dogma and the doctrine that we've been bombarded with. And this will help block it because it helps you heal those karmic wounds. Another thing I wanted to discuss real quick about the star energy is knowing your archetype, right? And your symbols. So let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for it now. And just give me 1 second. Hmm. So, a lot of this is just research. If you're really invested in learning more how, to 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 look at your energy and put it into areas that you feel that you need to put it into here. Now, knowing your archetype. Now, remember I tell you that um, a lot of businesses, government, they study this. They study against these constellations because it allows them to, and NASA allows them to navigate through the constellations for their satellites. Also, the Navy, um, Navy, and also certain corporations, billionaires. They look at this stuff because they know how to brand certain archetypes, and that's what this thing I'm gonna get into deals with is archetypes. And there's this thing called specifically called brand archetypes, and that's noted by a psychologist by the name of Carl Jung. He theorized that human use symbolism to more easily understand complex concepts. As a result of his research, Jung stated there are forms and images of collective nature which occur practically all over the earth as constituents of myth and at the same time as individual product of unconscious. Um, so let me just go over. There are 12 brand of archetypes. There's the innocent, the everyman, the hero, the outlaw, the explorer, the curator, the ruler, the magician, the lover, the caregiver, the jester, and the sage. And just to look at a few of these examples, it's like the innocent. The innocent archetype exhibits happiness, goodness, optimism, safety, romance, and myth. Okay, that's the archetype. And the example of the branding is Coca-Cola, Nintendo, Wii, and Dove. They brand because they study these archetype of characters. You know what I'm saying? And this is how they create their brands. Now, the every man archetype seeks connections and belonging, is recognized as supportive, faithful, and down to earth. The hero archetype is on a mission to make the world a better place. The hero is courageous, he's bold, inspirational. The rebel archetype questions authority and breaks the rules. The rebel craves rebellion and revolution. The explorer archetype finds inspiration, travel, risk, discovery, and the thrill of new experiences. The creator archetype is imaginative, inventive, and driven to build things of enduring meaning and value. The ruler archetype creates order from chaos. The ruler is typically controlling and stern, yet responsible and organized. The magician wishes to create something special and makes dreams a reality. The magician is seen as a visionary and spiritual. So you can see some of this in people. You know, I know the magician. Yeah, wanted to create something special, make dreams a reality. This is the archetype. The caregiver protects and cares for others, is compassionate, nurturing, and generous. The jester brings joys to the world through humor, fun, irreverence, and often likes to make some mischief. The sage is committed to helping the world gain deeper insight, wisdom. The sage serves as a thoughtful mentor and advisor. So there's possible that you can have a lot of these archetypes in your character, your personality, and your character and personality in your spirit. A lot of these archetypes could exist. All of you can have bits and pieces of it. And knowing this gives you power of knowing who you are, knowing your archetype. So I suggest um, that you go into brandsbyoval.com. Brands by Oval. brands by by oval ovo.com. And you can see all these archetypes. And you get to know yourself. When you have this energy, you know who you are. You can communicate. This energy can come down. You can even communicate, and you know who you are. A lot of times when you go for a job interview, they want to know how well advanced are you in that. Is it, do you know who you are? Describe yourself to me. You know what I'm saying? And so this is important for us to harness that energy. You know what I'm saying? For communication, for also ideas, imagination, and the balancing with these ideas with your habits, which create your paradigm, your subconscious mind. So yeah, this is knowing this, knowing also the karma, knowing how the laws of karma works. Okay, helps to unblock dogma, helps to unblock this doctrine that tends to block you from connecting yourself to the source, which is sun power, stardust, electricity. You know what I'm saying? Harnessing that energy within you. So I just wanted to read those on the karma, the 12 karma laws, and then the archetypes, so that you have an idea. You know what I'm saying? And then that helps create this unblockage, know who you are, so you can unblock. You know. So I'll leave it at that. Peace and blessing. I tell you, I was gonna keep this short, and then I'm probably gonna come back in a little bit, and we're gonna go to church. What else? Did I miss anything before I go? Oh, this is what I meant to do, and I'm gonna put it on here. And then probably put in the beginning on the other podcast I do with the church. And let's go back here. Shoo. Let's go back here. This is very important. I wanted to. Sorry, I needed to go back. Oh, here we go. Got it. Okay. This is very important because we spoke about how billionaires, companies, how they look for the skies, the constellations, and they look at how the stars react. And we're going to go over that when we go to church. We're going to go over how even it's hidden in the Bible. You have to read for comprehension, and how these practices are mentioned in the scriptures. You know, so there's an upcoming great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn that will be on December the 21st. It will be the closest conjunction since 1623. But don't wait, because a lot of this is starting to happen now. Okay. Now, the astronomers, they use the word conjunction to describe the meetings of planets and other objects in our sky dome. They use the term great conjunction to describe meetings of Jupiter and Saturn, the two biggest worlds in our solar system, Jupiter and Saturn. The last great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn was in actually May 28th of 2000. The next one will be on December the 21st. But don't wait till December, because the things are happening now. If you look at in the sky, if you got a telescope, or you look at in the sky, you're gonna see these two stars. You're gonna see Jupiter and Saturn sort of like flirting with each other, what they say. But I wanted to read you something very important here. Man, I had it up. Oops. Sorry. This is so deep that I wanted to read something here of how astronomers are, are actually how astronomers are actually what type of occurrence are they looking for. Governments and billionaires are waiting for this to happen, and what are the steps that they're going to take. Very interesting article. I'm trying to bring it up. I lost it. Jesus. Well, let's see. Let me see. I'm bringing it up. Um, before I let everyone go, I really I wanted to. Hmm. Uh, well, I kind of lost it. I'll see if I get it for the next one. Um, see if I can get it for the next one, because I should have tagged it somehow on my iPad. But it's just full with so many notes, many notes. But anyway, um, I'm gonna end this here, and I wish everybody well. And again, what I'm saying, I'm gonna come on later on. Go. I'm gonna go into the biblical narrative, and you know put spirituality and natural nature back with me, because natural nature's on top, and then you got spirituality, and then you got religion is the last form of natural. Religion is the last form of what they call knowledge that happens to evolution. What I'm saying, the evolutionary cycle. You know, but and then we're leading back up to the spiritual, and then the top half will be natural nature, natural nature. So we're all going to put it all together. Okay, so peace and blessing.